Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris. So here we are on the vigil of the Assumption of our Blessed Mother, body and soul, into heaven, reduced to having to talk about the dominant homosexual culture in the church and the lying and deceitful cardinals and bishops trying to cover it all up. Case in point, Cardinal Blaise Cupich, who without denying he knew all about McCarrick's perversion, has insisted that this whole situation isn't a gay thing. With all the respect that can be mustered, or deserved, Your Eminence, what in hellfire do you think it is, if not a gay thing? Of course it's a gay thing. Stop lying. McCarrick, a male, raped, assaulted, groped, and made advances on altar boys, males, and seminarians, males, for decades. Prolonged, male-on-male sexual assault. That's gay. Do you think we're stupid? Then there's Cardinal Donald Wuerl, so beloved by the homo bar crowd during his time in Pittsburgh, they actually nicknamed him Donna. Last week, he just couldn't figure out if all this was really a big deal or not, nor could he figure out how to address it. And then he doesn't even appear to know what it actually is. First, he moronically said the bishops should investigate themselves. Then he slightly backpedaled from that and graciously deigned to say that the laity should have a part in that. Very kind and condescending of you. Next, he was interviewed by homosexualist Father Thomas Rosica, where he said that this isn't a massive, massive crisis or anything.
I don't think this is some massive crisis.
Then, getting intense blowback from that idiotic statement, like he did when he said the bishops should investigate themselves, he backpedaled once again and said the context of what he said was not fairly considered. Right. And like so many other bishops and cardinals, he can't seem to bring himself to clearly state exactly what the problem is. First, it's a crisis which the bishops need to investigate themselves. Then it isn't a crisis. And then there's Cupich's non-gay thing, but he never tells us exactly what it actually is. And over the weekend, the D-list bishop of Knoxville, Rick Sticca, got into a bit of a Twitter war when he posted, quote, "Sexual abuse occurs by sick people who are predators. Some are gay and others are not. Young and old of all shapes and colors. It is estimated that 5% of the male population may fall into this category. Trying to blame it on gay folks or straight folks is not the problem," close quote. Either Bishop Sticca is part of the homosexual collective in the church, or he is completely uninformed on this topic. Various people jumped onto his Twitter page and called him to task for trying to whitewash the issue and make it seem as though this abuse problem is equally distributed over hetero and homosexual men. That's not even close to true, as the bishop's own reports prove out year after year, an inconvenient piece of information that Sticca did not want to engage in. And for the record, 80%, 4 out of 5 of the cases involve homosexual predation, Bishop, homosexual. And that was just the case with minors. 100% of the cases of adult clergy and seminarians involved in homosexual predation. 100%. If a priest or bishop is raping or assaulting a seminarian, that is 100% homosexual. Do not try to whitewash it as, oh, some is gay and some is straight. That's a load of garbage and you know it. So what's going on here across the board with the bishops as they stumble and bumble around trying to formulate some kind of response to all this? Well, the predominant theme emerging is whatever it was or is, it's not. Repeat, not. Absolutely not a gay thing. That's the message that's going out from all the senior leadership in the church to all the bishops. Now, using that as their firewall propaganda piece, they're trying out all kinds of other strategies, trial balloons, if you will. From Wuerl's insane the bishops should investigate themselves idiocy to Cupich's this is all about McCarrick strategy used to keep the attention away from the topic of the gay thing. And notice part of the strategy this time around is to go to the pro-gay homosexualist propaganda organs they have propped up for decades. The National Catholic Reporter, America Magazine, Father Thomas Rosica's gay network, Salt and Light out of Canada, and so forth. Those sycophants, in love with the idea of the church rejecting its teaching and embracing sodomy, wouldn't know how to ask a probative question if their souls depended on it, which it may very well. They aren't about getting to the truth. They never have been. They're about covering it up. And that's why the Cover Up Cardinal Club gives them interviews, because they know they will never be challenged. It's like Pravda interviewing Joseph Stalin, trying to get to the truth. Then there are the outlets that don't embrace the sin, yet turn a blind eye to it and provide further cover, like EWTN and the disgraceful Interview, apologies to all journalists who conduct actual interviews, conducted by Lauren Ashburn when she asked a string of softball questions of Donald Wuerl. Did it occur to her to ask him if he's gay? How about, had he in any way ever touched this problem of homosexuality in the clergy? Were his fingerprints on any of this? How about challenging him on the question of that he didn't know anything about McCarrick? An unbelievable question. How about what he thinks of the hundreds of testimonies now coming out in social media from former seminarians saying they were hit on, assaulted, and drummed out of the seminary when they reported it? Given the current climate, those would have been good questions. As a matter of fact, given the current climate, those are the only questions he needs to be asked. But she never asked them, because the network is more concerned with not ticking off the bishops, especially Donald Wuerl, than getting to the truth, even though various insiders at EWTN tell us that they know the truth. Hey, Wuerl, Cupich, O'Malley, Farrell, here's an invitation for you. Here's a thing for dialogue, open dialogue and all that. Sit down with us here at Church Militant and answer our questions. Church Militant is the most commented on Catholic website in the world. So you would have a splendid opportunity to address faithful Catholics who think you are all lying through your teeth. Doesn't that bother you that the sheep think you are all homosexuals, or at the minimum, part of the larger collective protecting all of this, and that you are lying to cover it all up? Because if this continues to get exposed, which we have committed ourselves to, your whole game to corrupt the church will come crashing down. As Ricky said to Lucy famously, you have some splaining to do. But see, you don't deal honestly, nor are you interested in dialogue when you are always talking about it. The plan, my fellow Catholics, by these lying cover-up cardinals and prelates is this: keep you, the faithful, off balance. Keep talking about it not being a gay thing. Keep saying it's not about anything more than McCarrick. Keep saying it's not about anything more than policy tweaks and some new procedures. Keep saying it's not about anything else other than a failure to correctly implement the 2002 Dallas Charter reforms or update them. But notice, in their steady stream of deflections, they will never address what it is, only what it is not. That won't fly. The Catholic clergy all over the world has been infiltrated by homosexuals who have seized operational control. Just ask the seminarians in Honduras. That operational control for the past decades has created an environment and a culture, a dominant culture, where homosexual superiors take sexual, as in homosexual Cupich, homosexual advantage of seminarians, and all of it is now coming into the open. That is the problem, and it is a gay thing. Prelates and cardinals who deny it, including those who remain silent on it, are part of the problem. It is a gay thing. It is nothing more than a gay thing, and they all know it, just like they all knew McCarrick and are all lying about that as well. The bishop's annual meeting in November in Baltimore is going to be quite the firestorm, as thousands of faithful Catholics descend on it. In less than 1 week, more than 1,000 have already signed up and committed, and there's still 3 months to go. Their lies and spin to gay Catholic media are not going to work this time. It is a gay thing. God love you. I'm Michael Voris.